episode of the group chat ahead of the Melbourne Cup tomorrow. We're coming early, so on a Monday instead of a Tuesday. And if you are watching this, you will notice that Phil and I were not in the studio. Or Phil, you're in the studio. I am not.
Technically, yeah.
Yes, so this will be the first time we've done a split recording, you could say. But let's see how it goes. We're going to do a quick run through of the weekend, and we're going to, at the end, have a look at what the Melbourne Cup has in store for us tomorrow. But yeah, with that, Phil, do you have a weekend highlight? What did you get up to?
The weekend highlight for us, I think, has to be the multi. Finally. And it was a decent one too at 1949. Chris Wood is on fire.
He is.
Tonga were on fire with that plus 6.5 points coming through. And then the under 2.5 for Auckland. And then your man Gibbs, was it, in the NFL?
Yeah, Jameer Gibbs.
For the Lions.
Huge. Old Sonic.
It was his history all around this weekend. AFC, the hot streak hitting, going 3-0 this season. Still haven't conceded a goal. The stat play of Man United and Chelsea drawing, both teams scoring, that hit. Boom. Yes, please. Yeah. And now we're just waiting on the gut play. Brentford away at Fulham, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Need them to score within the first 15 minutes, I think. Then we'll be 3 from 3, 4 from 4, including the multi. So, yeah, great weekend so far.
Oh, yeah, hell of a weekend betting. And we were at the AFC Phoenix game as well for the first derby. That's probably got to be up there as a highlight as well.
26,000
in the crowd.
Great.
And Wellington actually put on a day for it. And I saw someone comment straight away on our post when we posted that Auckland FC had won, and someone commented, quite smart from them. Turns out you can beat Wellington on a good day, and fair play to them. They were able to knock over the Phoenix. Yeah,
and the Go Media sort of advertisement as you leave the stadium as well was pretty class from them. I don't know if you saw it.
As well.
Welcome to Ellington. We took the W back to Auckland. It's good banter and good turnout. So that bodes well for the rest of the season and the 100%. Other two derbies that we've got. So, I think Phoenix, they would be disappointed with the result, but they'll be absolutely chuffed with that turnout because I think on a regular match day, you'll probably get 10K less than that. So, looks good. And I'm glad that the derby the Kiwi Classico is building up to be this sort of neck and neck competition that we saw on the weekend.
Absolutely. And we had Liam Lawson back in the points in the Brazilian Grand Prix. I don't know if he flipped the bird to anyone as he went past them this time around, but he finished in 9th, which is a huge result. I think he's coming after Sergio Perez's seat big time. Big time. He's making moves. The ABs and the All Blacks 15 both got wins, one over Munster, and All Blacks edging one out over England, which was a bit of a thriller in the end.
Yeah. Much akin to the Kiwis and Tonga, where the difference was a missed conversion, both teams having an arguably prime positioned kick and both shanking it. So, I don't know, maybe the bench for the ABs was the difference in that 24-22 win, but man, I feel like that was England's to steal, like Kiwis could have stolen right at the end as well.
Yeah, and then just to top things off, last night, the Black Caps made history in India. We were looking not so, I don't know how to describe that, but we weren't definitely not in the box seat going into that. We bowled out for 130 odd, they needed 140 to win. And then I wasn't really taking too much notice, but when we had them 50 for 5, I switched on the tally and I saw Glenn Phillips rip through a couple. I saw Ajaz Patel. As soon as we got Rishabh Pant out, and my goodness, 3-0 in India, the first ever team to sweep India at home. Tommy Latham and the boys. So we got our first win for a long time in India, our first Test Series win in India, and become the first Test team to ever sweep India in India. Unreal from the fellas over there. Did you see any of that?
I saw when I think India needed 50 more runs. I think there was 6 down.
Mm.
And I just thought, oh, they've got it from here. They'll cruise.
Yeah.
Not to be.
No. Well,
3-0.
yeah, Ajaz Patel spun a web, and he was the top wicket taker in the first innings. So that had my bet coming. Thank you. And then he had 6 for in the second, so he had 11 for the match. And he
Was.
just loves bowling in his hometown of Mumbai, apparently.
Yeah. How good.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's kick straight into it then. The All Blacks beating England. What do we make of that game? What do we kind of need to read into it ahead of playing? What do we play? Ireland, then France, then Italy. What did you make of it?
Great atmosphere at Twickenham again. Great contest. I thought Talea on the edge was very, very strong. He's got a couple of good tries now this season, bumping off more than one player. He's a bit of a workhorse on that edge. When you give him the ball on the line, he'll bump off 3 people and still get over. I thought it was strong. Satiti showing his quality again, no matter where you put him. He always puts in a performance. And DMAC as well, I thought, coming off the bench, looked a lot better than the English fly half coming off the bench. So a little show and go to offload it off to the edge to get Delaire over as well. Controlled the game nicely coming on in the second half.
Yeah, I thought, you mentioned it right at the start. I think the bench was the difference maker in that game for us, and it hasn't been in the Test matches in the Rugby Championship and leading into this. The bench has been where we've kind of failed or let it slip a little bit. So I think DMAC played the perfect role there off the bench. It's just be your impact player, come in a burst of 20 minutes. Don't have to worry about running the whole game, all the tactics and everything, because it's in rhythm. The game's like flowing, so you just step in and do your thing, and it worked a treat. So I'm happy with DMAC doing that. I'm good there.
So,
and I was
Jordan
also
breaking
impressed.
the line. You give him any space, he's gone.
Mate, that guy is unreal, man. And the little misdirection off the ruck, look right, and then go left to Bowden, who then cuts it
Very
back
clean.
inside to Will. Like that's got to be done. That's right off the training field, surely.
You've got a prop trying to stop Will Jordan, and that's just not going to happen, unfortunately, when you get caught wrong-footed. What do you reckon of the Caleb Clark penalty? We've seen a lot of yellow cards, a lot of discipline issues for the All Blacks, and this time a card wasn't given for a deliberate knock-on, which I thought he was very lucky. Considering the type of cards they've dished out, specifically in the Rugby Championship, you get penalised but not carded for a deliberate knock-on was interesting for me.
No, when I saw that, I was like, he's gone. He's gone. And to see them play on, I guess they just ruled it as a knock-on in the tackle, which is what they ended up ruling it on.
Yeah, I think the ref thought it was like a tackle action, and then on the replay...
It kind of, live it looked like he stuck his hand out, I think, to knock the ball down. Watching a replay, I almost thought that hand reaching out was for the tackle, and then he's seen the ball and it's just kind of gravitated to the ball, but it was in the tackle motion. So, I mean, I was surprised they didn't call it a knock-on straight away. Yeah, exactly. Because we went on and scored, and they went back and ruled it.
Yeah, that's correct.
Because Caleb Clark then bursted down the wing.
Twickenham were very, very upset. So,
I thought my Caleb Clark anytime try scorer was in for all money there. But that's a hell of a try if you forget about that knock on or the knockdown. Great try on the counter.
Wouldn't be.
But no, I initially thought that he was gone, and to see that he wasn't, interesting to say the least, for sure.
Lucky, I think lucky.
Yes, but yeah, going back to Mark Talea, I was very impressed by him. Just the strength he'd show. That's something I probably haven't seen from him in a while. So cool to see if, say, Caleb Clark a little bit quieter, because he has been the strongest winger in the winger in form the last couple of games. To see Talea kind of step up when it's a little bit quieter down that left-hand edge for Caleb Clark. And also, we did think that maybe Talea may struggle on the right because he'd been playing well on the left. but no signs of that.
No signs.
I did see a funny meme I saw, and it was Razor
Was it
looking at
the
his laptop.
oh? I was going to say, was it the Arsenal Newcastle scoreline or?
That wasn't that funny.
Oh, that wasn't
That
the
wasn't
meme.
that.
Okay, my bad.
No. The meme was Scott Robinson looking at his computer asking how to duplicate Wallace Satiti, and I think that is very fair.
Yeah, you do need to copy paste him a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, unreal from that boy. If he doesn't win World Emerging Player of the Year,
It's got to be.
Then we Real Madrid and boycott it. No one from the All Blacks shows up.
Yeah. All the All Blacks can tweet how disappointed they are.
Yeah. Well, we'll come to that Arsenal Newcastle game later on, but I just wanted to mention you said you didn't watch too much of that All Blacks 15, but from what I did see in the highlights, god damn the commentary on that.
Mm.
If you want to frustrate yourself, and if you want to put yourselves through 10 minutes of torture, go watch that highlight package. The rugby is good. But my God, the biasness towards Munster was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And yeah, I'm thankful I didn't watch the full 80 minutes of it because I think I would have struggled.
Yeah, that would have been painful. Interesting though. I'll have to have a listen.
But yeah, a couple boys from the AB's 15 heading into the big boys squad. Bowden Barrett concussion protocol, Cody Taylor concussion as well. Billy Proctor going back home for the birth of his first child, potentially. So, what do you got? Brodie McAllister, Harry Plummer, and Ruben Love stepping into the squad. So, good to see. Good to see. So I guess that's the Northern Tour. We touched on the Black Caps already, but holy pantsing India. Jeepers. And Will Young, player of the series. I'm not sure if you saw that, but yeah, player of the series. I think consistently, I think he had the second highest average. I said it at the start after the first game. He's the kind of guy you just love to have in your team because he does everything for you. So unreal from them. We can go straight into the A-League if you want to.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think again we pretty much covered it. It's a great day in Wellington for a change. The sun was out. Very, very tight, stiff competition, 0-0 for 90% of that game. I think they scored in the 89th maybe, and in the 90+6 minute.
Yeah,
to come away with the 2-0 win away in the first ever Kiwi Classico. It's huge for Auckland, and they stay at the top unconceded.
Yeah. So pre-game, going around asking people, would you rather win the first ever Classico? And then go ahead and lose the next two fixtures, which will be up in Auckland, or would you rather lose the first one and then make sure and you've got the next two banked? Responses, you said, were pretty 50-50.
Yeah. The debate was that 6 points versus making history, I guess. When you talk about the future and people looking back on the first ever game of the Kiwi Classico, the first derby, they're going to say, well, the scoreline was this. Therefore, it's more important to have your team winning the first one ever, even more so for Auckland FC fans winning away the first one ever. But 50-50 because people seem to think that having the 6 points was more imperative. And the flip side of that, the other fans were thinking, well, we can lose today and pick up those 3 points somewhere else.
Yeah.
But
what would you go for?
I think you take the Kiwi Classico.
The first one?
It's too big. It's in the history books now. There'll be all sorts of mentions of it. It'll be in the quizzes. Who won the first ever Kiwi Classico? And you want your name there, I think. You certainly want to score in the first ever Kiwi Classico. And I think if you win the next two, you lose the next two, sure. But fairly confident your team's good enough to pick up that slack elsewhere.
Well, how good if you go down to your local pub quiz and the question is who won the first ever Kiwi Classico? I mean, it's going to be a 50-50 choice.
And what was the score? 2-0. Boom.
Well, thank God there was a score, because for a long time of that game, if that game finished 0-0, it's kind of what we expected, being tight, neither team really giving an inch. Both teams missed pretty big chances, though.
Some big chances, yep.
But the 0-0 scoreline wasn't too surprising,
No.
as much as it would have been a bit boring to have. But thank goodness the Phoenix screwed up a goal kick. And that stuff frustrates me as just like a football fan. Like, why are you mucking around with it in the box in the 89th minute when it's 0-0?
Yeah.
Get the ball out.
They've been doing that all game, though, the keepers on both sides playing it out from the back. It was obviously the team structure, unfortunately. Just a lapse in concentration, took too long, and then the ball got cut.
Couldn't believe it.
The double.
Yeah.
Well, look, we wanted to see some goals, so...
Thank God we did.
But yeah, Wellington will be kicking themselves. They didn't convert their chances earlier on. Some 3-on-1 opportunities, some good crosses. Just couldn't... didn't have the shooting boots on, didn't have the accuracy.
I think I'm making a case to being, as much as I'm not sure how I feel about it, but a case for Auckland FC's good luck charm, because I pulled up to the game in the 82nd minute, 83rd minute maybe, and joined you guys in the stands. And it sounds like the first 80 minutes, not a lot happening apart from a couple of chances. But as soon as I rocked up, bang, 2 goals in, Auckland FC wins. So I think I've just secured myself a spot at every Auckland FC game.
Either Auckland good charm or Wellington bad charm. That remains to be seen, I guess.
Maybe we should test that. Maybe I'll head along to another Phoenix game. They're away this weekend against Central Coast, so I won't be able to test the theory this weekend. But maybe the next home game they're at, I'll head along and I'll see if it's a Phoenix bad luck charm or an Auckland good luck charm. We can go from there. But yeah, the Auckland FC, they don't play again for another 20 days. Is that a momentum killer? They've got a bye this week and then international break.
Definitely. And I think their next game is away as well. Maybe it's a much needed rest. Collect yourselves, keep level headed, Don't let the momentum get away from you. But that's the other side of it is, when you do have the momentum, you kind of want to keep going, keep pushing on. And, the other teams are probably scared of you. They're struggling to score goals against you. Do you come in a little bit rusty after 2 weeks or even almost 3 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it if I'm an Auckland FC player or fan.
Obviously you want to watch as many games as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after the game, we were doing a little jersey swap to see if we could convince any Phoenix fans to give up their Phoenix jersey to receive a Auckland FC jersey in return. Interested to see where you sit on this. If you were the Phoenix fan, or where are you sitting now? Are you Phoenix AFC?
It's always AFC with Betcha. There's no option. There is no option. If I was a fan, let's say Man United, we lose to Chelsea. Someone goes, "Give me your Chelsea." Give me your Man United shirt. I'll give you a Chelsea shirt. No chance. There's no way.
No,
it's not happening.
No, I think. Yeah, so we managed to get a couple people. Lots of people were like, "Nah, don't." I'm not even touching the jersey. Some guy even grabbed the jersey and threw it in the water. That's how much the Phoenix fans were salty. So, to be fair play to the group. One of them actually got in the ocean and fished it out for us. So, good on you. But a couple people did. There was a couple that the wife traded her shirt away, and she wasn't too worried because it was actually her partner's shirt, so she wasn't giving anything away.
You're on the fence, or you're originally from Auckland, or you don't really care. You just live in Wellington. It's a nice kit. Why not? Why would you not have a nice kit for free?
Exactly. And another argument on that case was guys are just happy to see another New Zealand football team, and it's just lifting the quality of New Zealand football around the country. It's another pathway for young players to go through. The rivalry is good for the sport. So they were just happy to support New Zealand football and gave up their Phoenix jersey or a piece of Phoenix kit in order. We got rid of all the AFC kits. I think we gave 5 away.
Yeah,
So
definitely good for New Zealand football and good for the league. Yeah, excited for the rest of the season.
yeah, for sure. All right, let's dive into the Premier League then. Obviously Newcastle, St James's Park, good place to play football if you're not Arsenal, apparently.
Yeah, solid header from Isaac there. Solid,
Yeah,
solid result because they've been a bit shaky this season. So they're starting to hit a bit of form now. They will love their three
unfortunately, yeah.
points.
Yeah, well, they just came off the midweek win against Chelsea as well.
Yeah.
So they had a bit of momentum their way, playing in front of a home crowd. Gordon was electric down the right hand wing. They kind of bounced between Saka and Gordon, and they were both doing a similar thing, causing havoc down their right hand side.
Mm.
And yeah, Isak. All he had to do was get contact on that because such a good ball from
Great
Gordon.
cross.
All the pace was on that. All he had to do was direct it home, and he did exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, Arsenal, they couldn't get up and find a way. Like just much like the Phoenix, shooting boots weren't on. There was that chance right at the end there for ball off Saka onto the head of Declan Rice. Just put the header wide, would have secured a point. But yeah, I was watching that thinking, when we went down 1-0, I thought we'd still come away with the win, if I'm going to be honest. But no.
Not to be.
And it sucks. It sucks because I woke up and I saw City lost. And I was like, oh my God, that was our chance. Because City aren't going to lose often, especially to a Bournemouth team who are dark horses at the moment.
The Cherries, I think Liverpool fans are absolutely stoked with the results over the weekend because there were some absolute shockers. The biggest one, I think, being Bournemouth going 2-0 up over City. Obviously, City clawed one back towards the end, but by then they were too far gone.
Mm-hmm.
Cherries picking apart some big teams. And yeah, obviously Liverpool getting the win. They too went behind against Brighton until a second half redemption. And a winning slot by Salah puts him back at the top of the table.
Salah back in it again. He's got to be a top 5 player, I'm telling you.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, well, they scored the 69th and 72nd minute.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So they've been kind of notorious for that this season, scoring 2 back-to-back in the second half after going behind. It's happened a couple times before.
After a stern talking to.
Yeah, Arnie Slot must work some magic in that changing or absolutely tear them new ones. So either way, it works.
Indeed.
Tottenham also got a midweek win, which they then converted into a 4-1 win against Aston Villa. They were pretty impressive too.
Yeah, massive.
And Ipswich Town still cannot find their first win despite going up 1-0 against the Foxes, just to let it slide in the 95th minute, I think, something like that.
It's tough. A red card as well, I think they had as well, didn't they? So they are struggling for that first win, much like Wolves as well. Wolves, another draw, another 2-2.
That game provided. I don't know what the first half was like, but 4 goals in the space of 15 minutes.
Yeah. 4 goals in 10 minutes. Yes, please.
Yeah, unreal. And Wolves fell behind as well and then took the lead with Crystal Palace then tying it back up 5 minutes later. That stuff's wild. And then we finish with, I guess we're not finished yet with the league, but Fulham Brentford will round that off. We're waiting for that in the last bit. But United, New Look United, could have had a chance to win it at the end there with Bruno, but 1-1 draw with Chelsea. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, good. We talked about it before. It's what I bet on. It's what I backed to happen. And I think it's a good result for us. But again, we did have our opportunities. Garnacho having some nice opportunities. Rashford almost got a disgusting volley in the back of the net. Unfortunately, hit top right of the bar. There were opportunities to get in front there. But look, we'll take the draw without a doubt. It's good building for the new manager.
Yeah, is there any word on the new manager? Was there a new manager in the stadium, or
didn't see him? Watched the highlights, so I don't think he made the trip. He's got a couple more games still to manage for Sporting, but it's good signs. Players are putting in the effort, and I'm sure he's liking the effort that they're putting in. And good for Rude as well, keeping that undefeated record while he
record as the man in charge. Yeah.
It's only a matter of time. I think his first game in charge is in fact against Ipswich, if I'm not incorrect, towards the end of the month. So looking forward to it.
Nice. Alrighty, well, since it is the start of a new month, which means October is done and dusted, so we got to find our player of the month and a goal of the month. Did you have a couple options that you had for player of the month or goal of the month, or
I just give
you're pretty happy with?
I give you Chris Wood, and I give you Casemiro, goal of the month. Disgusting. Chris
You're
Wood's
talking
form.
Casemiro's Coca Pops Cup goal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolute banger. If you want to look Premier League, maybe you look at Guardiola from Manchester City. He had a similar rocket. Is centre back as well. So him coming up and getting some absolute bangers this season. Happy with that. But player of the month got to be Chris Wood. I love seeing a Kiwi in the top 3, and he just keeps on scoring. So Haaland's hitting a dry patch.
Yep.
It's time to catch up.
Oh, the Chris Wood show. You've been betting on it. We've been talking about the Chris Wood show. I had him as my player of the month as well. Played 3 games in October.
Yep.
Nottingham won 2 and drew 1. So they drew with Chelsea. They beat Palace and they beat Leicester. That Leicester game, Chris Wood scored a brace and he had 4 goals in the 3 appearances. So hard to argue with that. He's the league's top goal scorer in October. And he's doing it at Nottingham, who are actually sneaky good as well. Like, their defence is unbelievable. That's why they're winning games, and they just go on the counter, and they just take their opportunities, and Chris Wood's knocking them off.
They've had the biggest turnaround for sure under Nuno Esperanto, and Chris Wood is loving it. I can tell you that much, and the results are proving that, so good on them. They must be, what are they, top 5?
They are.
They're top 3.
Third.
They're third now after
third.
that win, the Arsenal loss, the Chelsea draw. That is absolutely insane. So what a turnaround.
Yeah, 2 points.
More like 17
points.
City. Yeah.
Yeah.
Massive.
Nottingham. They are the only 2 players I had, and this is going to sound crazy, but Bukayo Saka. He only played the 2 games, but 1-1, drew 1. He had 4 goal contributions, 2 goals, 2 assists in the 2 games. Pretty good numbers. And then Mbeumo played 3, won 2, lost 1, but 3 goals in those 3 games. So
there's my other pick too. Yeah, he's been on fire.
Yeah. And then my goal of the month. I think you'd picked it out as one of your favourite goals as well. But it was the Andreas Pereira goal against Man City. The back heel. It was more about the assist, but the back heel assist, unreal, and then the finish.
From Jimenez. Yeah, that was dirty.
Yeah, so I had that as my goal of the month. The other one that could have been in there, but again, it's more on the lead up. It's not really like a screamer. Was Nico Jackson's goal for Chelsea on that disgusting pass from Cole Palmer from just outside his own box.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. But that's really more about the pass than the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we're sitting. So I think Chris Wood, he's our player of the month for sure. I wonder if he'd get voted it, because they do like an EA Sports Premier League.
Yep, he's in there.
I'm pretty sure he is.
He's in the mix, or him and Mbeumo was definitely up there. They were doing voting the other day, I think. But yeah.
Oh, hopefully he wins it. That'd be glorious.
Should be in contention, surely.
Yeah. And then goal of the month. If we're talking across all competitions, you could probably make a case for Casemiro. I don't mind that. Premier League only. I like Pereira's one.
Yeah, I think that's an all-rounder good goal. It's not just a nice goal. It's a great setup. bit of a jester of a play. You just don't expect something like that, so why not?
Yeah. Alrighty, that's enough of what's happened in the weekend. Let's look forward to tomorrow, the Melbourne Cup, the biggest day on the racing calendar. We've had a couple big bets come in already. We've had, let me just pull it up, the favourite, Vauban, number one. We've had a $10,000 bet at $6. So Vauban comes in, 60K. Thanks for coming. How good. Also, we've had a 10K each way bet on number 22, St. George, paying 21s to win, $6 on the place. So that'll be 5K on the win, 5K on the place. Again, good return if St. George can get in there.
As expected.
Big bands. One smooth operator had a 15K bet on at $8.
Wow.
That's massive. Buckaroo is also the tied favourite. Had a 7K bet on at $7. Another 6K bet on Vauban at $6.50. And the other big one was a 5K each way on Circle of Fire, paying $35 to win.
Yeah,
but
it's impressive stuff, and I'm sure we'll see more of it as we get closer to the race.
We're going to get more.
Always a big day.
For sure. And I don't know, but there's some big odds on some. I mean, there's 24 horses in the race.
Mm.
There's going to be some big odds. I think the biggest outsiders are paying 101 to 1. So
yeah,
pretty good. And there's some Kiwis in the race too, which is good to see. Sharp and Smart has come down from 71 to 41s. Looking
nice.
Good. And we do have that list on Betcha, the if horses were sports players. Have you had a look at that?
I have, yeah.
So I asked to see if you had two horses you liked the look of, or two athletes you might have liked the look of, that are going to help you pick your winner for the Melbourne Cup tomorrow. What have you got?
Yeah. There's some great comparisons in there. I did have a chuckle, but I've gone with a bit of a theme when you talk about my top two.
Mm-hmm.
Vauban, obviously the favourite, but what makes it more enticing is the connection to Brian O'Driscoll, the Irish goat. Paying sevens when I was checking. So he's, I think the description was, this horse, much akin to Brian O'Driscoll, has put together a super resume in the Northern Hemisphere, but does occasionally struggle when they are down under. Yep. But look, Brian Driscoll, he's a goat. He's been through the wars with the Irish. It's a good chance to get the win there, and is certainly the favourite, being a legend.
I think it was the favourite last year as well, from memory. So, but yeah, okay, Brian, that's not the theme I thought you were going for. I was expecting a UFC theme.
Yep, Knuckles is in there.
Yeah, well so Izzy's in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, who you got? Who else have you got?
All right, rugby theme. Another legend of the game, Johnny Wilkinson, representing Sea King at 15. Now, Sea King's paying 13s. An English top liner who has already performed with distinction in Australia, which is where the race is happening. Supposedly, in this comparison, could drop the field at the drop of a hat and kick on for the massive prize. So again, another rugby legend, and again, a top contender paying 13s, Johnny Wilkinson, a.k.a. Sea King, number 15.
I like that. Johnny Wilkinson, a.k.a. Sea King, baby.
Johnny Wilkinson and Brian O'Driscoll, man. My God. What did you want?
Good little combo. Good combo.
What have you got?
Enough. I didn't have either of those, which is good. We've got a bit of disparity here. I went for Buckaroo, the other favourite. So we've got both favourites in there. But I liked the comparison with Reece Walsh. He's all class and has put in some super efforts this season. If he finds the clear, it'll be very hard to peg back. And I think that's very true for Reece Walsh. If he can get open and keep going, that man's hard to stop. And I think if Buckaroo can get a little opening, I like him to storm through and just be the star of the show. Because we all know how much of a star Reece Walsh is. And I like that he's a bit of a diva. So Buckaroo, if he's anything like Reece Walsh. Although, the downside of that is is he going to turn up when the lights are the brightest? And the
Ooh,
lights are going to definitely be bright tomorrow.
indeed.
So Buckaroos paying $7, I believe, still.
I like it.
The other one was, this guy is just a winner. This guy wins. Shohei Ohtani. World Baseball Classic winner for Japan. He pitched the final pitch, getting out his teammate back then, Mike Trout, to win it for Japan. Then signs this massive mega deal with the Dodgers, and in his first ever postseason appearance, wins the World Series. And number 4, Warp Speed from Japan, is his comparison in this. Japanese superstar who has the ability to knock his competitors out of the park. Only fitting that it's a baseball thing, hitting him out of the park. Yep. I think Warp Speed. I like the look of that. I actually don't know what Warp Speed's paying. $26.
Ooh.
So that's a nice little return on that.
The outside
with, Warp Speed. $7.50 on the place too. But yeah, there are some good comparisons on that list. So if you are listening or watching and you don't know who to bet on, you don't know horses, but you know sport, go check that list out because it's actually a good read. Liam Lawson's in there. Izzy, we've mentioned Izzy. Yep. Nick Cummins, Forrest Gump. They're all comparisons in there. Yep. But yeah, if you want to have a look, go check that out for sure. Unreal. Are you going to have a little dabble on the Melbourne Cup tomorrow?
I mean, what can I? Is it windy in Wellington? I mean, what do you want me to say? Absolutely.
Are your best bets either of those two? The Brian O'Driscoll or Johnny Wilkinson? Do you have a best bet?
Funnily enough, in the old sweepstakes, I got given $101 shot, and I thought that's not ideal. But it is a medieval theme, and so Sea King is reflective of the times. So maybe that is the direction I head in. But definitely those options. With those comparisons, it's hard to overlook the legends, and if Brian O'Driscoll was favourite, then Brian O'Driscoll was favourite.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. Did you get, was it Valiant King in your sweepstake? Valiant King?
Nope.
Who'd you get as medieval?
I got Knight's Choice.
Okay. That makes sense. Nice choice. $101 shot. Yeah, you weren't kidding. Yeah.
Maybe I still have to back it. I think I do. Anyway,
funnily enough, I got Warp Speed. So Shohei Ohtani was my sweepstake.
Really?
So I think if the stars are aligning there, I'm going to have to back Shohei for sure.
Home run.
Yeah. Warp Speed to hit a home run tomorrow at Flemington. Paying 26 bones. Nice. Alrighty. Well, I think that's all we've got for this first ever group chat via, what do you call it, Zoom?
Yep.
Via from distance online. You're going to have a heck of a day tomorrow. You're going to be busy on the tools. No doubt. Hopefully everything goes to plan. I'm going to be up in Auckland and around Ellerslie at the races there. And we're going to get around the punters and have some fun. So hopefully you guys have a good day down there in the office, and I'm going to try have a good day out on track.
Yeah, you can try real hard.
Alrighty, well, thank you for listening. If you are having a punt on the Melbourne Cup, good luck. Check out that sport list if you know sport and not the horses. That might just help you pick a winner. All the best, and we'll be back on Friday to have a look at the weekend.